Welcome to a journey through the history of art. We will travel along a timeline from the caves to the 19th century. My name is Dr. Jean Willette. Let's begin by making the familiar unfamiliar. In the previous podcast, I suggested that cultural events and cultural ideas came together at the end of the 18th century. In France, there was a revolution in 1789 that left artists without their patrons and art without a secure place in a nation struggling to reinvent itself. Meanwhile, in Germany, a philosopher named Immanuel Kant wrote a book entitled Critique of Judgment in 1791. A major statement in the new branch of philosophy, aesthetics. Today, aesthetics has acquired a casual vernacular meaning that refers to the look or the appearance of anything from a work of art or design, or to the enhancement of a woman's face through makeup. Aesthetics implies a style, indicating a multiplicity of possibilities and constant change. However, this kind of aesthetics is centered on a physical object. In contrast, aesthetics is also a philosophy of art, meaning that philosophers in the 18th century were attempting to define art. Aesthetics seeks the grounds for art, the epistemology of art. These grounds must be universal and transcendent. Immanuel Kant, like other philosophers of art, would not write about art objects, but about the purpose of art and the role of the artist. In the past, art had a purpose, that of the patron, but for Kant, that purpose was particular to a specific king or church. Purpose had to be universal, free of content, unattached to emotional or personal interest. Kant elevated form over content, eliminated color and embellishments from consideration. For art to be transcendent, art had to have no purpose other than an art purpose. The artist likewise had to be independent of the patron to produce truly transcendent and universal art. The artist acquired a new role in Kant's writing, that of the genius, the artist who played with forms to create something new. Linked to beauty, art had to be free and independent, existing for no reason except to be an object to be contemplated by the viewer. Art had to be judged, critiqued in its own terms, formal terms, by a disinterested spectator. Kantian aesthetics, a new definition for art, traveled to France, where the term art for art's sake was coined by the beginning of the 19th century. The ideas that art was independent and that the artist had to be free put the artist on a collision course with the state, the academy, the patrons, and the art audiences. But neoclassicism, long aligned to authority, was challenged by the Romantic movement, inspired by the idea of artistic independence. Romanticism was less a unified style than an attitude, a state of mind on the part of artists who had to develop individual styles to make their mark in the newly competitive salons. The Romantic artist was in an extremely insecure position. On one hand, he or she was free of powerful patrons, free to invent and innovate, but under the command and control of the rigid rules of the academy, and at the mercy of demanding and vocal salon audiences and art critics who resisted change and demanded to be entertained. Although art had a large and enthusiastic art public, art was now also separated and set apart from the larger society and the general public. Art was no longer knitted into the fabric of society, and the artist was highly specialized, highly talented, and increasingly unique, distinguished from the wider community. The new task of the new artist in the new century was to redefine art and to redefine the artist. The process of rewriting the meaning of art continues today.